In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating animated video sketch notes with an iPad. So the first step in the process is to create your actual sketch notes. In this case, I'm using Paper by 53 to draw out all my concepts, and this sketch note represents someone coming with an idea to create video sketch notes. So when I'm done creating these in Paper by 53, the critical step is to export your sketch notes from paper as a transparency. So I'll squeeze the notebook, tap on the export arrow, and send these to the camera roll with the background turned off, creating the transparency. So with my transparent sketch note saved to the camera roll, the next step is to create the video. Now you have two options here. You could use existing video that's on your camera roll, like live footage, or you can create virtual footage with an app, for example, like Telegami. So I'll go through and create the quick Telegami video. Now the critical step here, whether you're shooting live footage or using avatar or digital footage like this, is to have the background be a really crisp and clear color, potentially white. And what that is going to allow is for your animations that you're later going to drop on top of this to stand out and not be obscured by the background. So when you're done creating either 1, 2, 3, or 4 videos with Telegami or with live footage, just make sure all of that content is exported to the camera roll. And that's what I'm doing now in this process. Once the creation and the exporting process is done, then you can jump to your next step of actually animating your drawings from Paper 53 on your iPad that will eventually be laid on top of this Telegami or real-life footage. So I'll begin that process now. So I'm going to go into Explain Everything and open up a new presentation. And able to later drop my animations on top of my live or virtual footage, what I need to do is create essentially a green screen studio and Explain Everything. So I've done a Google search for a chroma key green background, and I'm just adding that and locking that in place in the background. What I'll do now is insert my sketch notes, and I'll just grab one element at a time. By using the freehand cropping feature and Explain Everything, I'm cropping out my first concept, and I'm going to drop that on the screen, do just a little bit of animation, possibly add a slight jiggle to kind of bring the image to life, and then when I'm done recording this for maybe 5, 6, or 7 seconds, however long I know I need that footage, I'll just export it to the camera roll. Once this first image is exported as its own separate video in the camera roll, then I'll just do the process over and over and over again with each small element from my transparency drawing from Paper by 53. So I'll have that process go by in the background relatively quickly. And one thing I can recommend is to make sure that the lines in your drawing are thick enough, because often when you lay them on top of the Telegami footage, with the last step, if the lines aren't really thick, sometimes you can't quite see what the drawing is. So as you can see in the background here, I'm creating animated versions of my Paper 53 transparency, one after another, in Explain Everything, and every part of that process is exported to the camera roll. The next step is to lay these two videos together. So I'll do that by going into Green Screen by Do Ink. Now you can see there's 3 tracks in green screen, and what I'm going to do is drop my real footage or my avatar footage on the bottom track, and that's what I'm doing right now. So you can see my avatar footage there. In Green Screen by Do Ink, you have the ability to do a little bit of cropping off of the back end, and I'll just do that by tapping and holding and then dragging my finger to crop off the end. I also have the ability to resize. So what I'll do is tap on my track down below, and then I'm actually going to grab the preview pane in the top left-hand corner and just pinch my fingers back and forth to resize my video. And what I just want to do is get rid of that little black edge on the side. Once my video has been resized, all I have to do now is tap on one of the top 2 tracks. I'll tap on the top track, and I'm going to insert my first animated green screen footage that I made in Explain Everything. You notice as I'm dragging my finger back and forth across the bottom now, that footage is going to be animated. Now notice how the footage is just slightly too big. So what I'll do is tap the track down below in the timeline, and then I'm going to pinch in the top left-hand corner in the preview window, and I can resize my track. If you look in the top right-hand corner, you can notice that the green screen footage has been shrunk a little bit. I'll do a little bit of trimming off the end, tap the plus sign on that top track off in the top right-hand corner, and drop down my next green screen footage, and then the footage after that, and the footage after that. So this process here, you just keep adding each small green screen clip, and essentially you're layering that on top of your either Telegami avatar footage or your live footage that you've shot with your iPad previously. But again, keep in mind, if you're going to have live footage, you'd want that person standing in front of a really bright white background or just one kind of really clean color. Once you've brought all of your Paper 53 transparency green screen videos to life on top of your footage in DoInk, then you can simply export it to the camera roll, and from there you can publish it to any platform you like.